Eating boiled eggs with this is truly poisonous. The three worst combinations you should never eat. For individuals navigating the decades after 50, and particularly those who have reached 60 and beyond, the nutritional landscape shifts, and what was once considered a universally beneficial food item like a boiled egg can, under certain circumstances, present unintended challenges. While a boiled egg remains a remarkably economical and potent source of protein, its full potential for good health can be undermined by a single, often overlooked, dietary pitfall. This common error isn't about the egg itself, but rather what it is consumed alongside. Many people mistakenly believe that eggs are inherently healthy in all contexts, leading them to pair these nutrient-dense powerhouses with foods that appear benign or even beneficial, without recognizing the cumulative effect of these combinations on their bodies. This lack of awareness can lead to a slow, insidious buildup of digestive distress and, more critically, can place undue strain on the kidneys. Subtle signs such as persistent bloating that feels disproportionately heavy, the appearance of foamy urine that is easily dismissed, intermittent swelling in the ankles, and a peculiar sense of fatigue that settles in shortly after breakfast are often ignored or attributed to the natural aging process. However, these symptoms can be precursors to more significant kidney issues, where the organ bears the brunt of dietary indiscretions. As Dr. Laura Rodriguez, a physician with extensive experience assisting adults over 50, observes, many of her patients were diligently trying to make healthy choices, yet unknowingly perpetuated breakfast routines that subtly overwhelmed their digestive and kidney filtration systems. 2. Underscore the importance of this information for your own well-being. A commitment is requested. If you are truly dedicated to safeguarding your kidneys, please type health in the comments section. This action is not for the presenter, but for yourself, signifying a conscious shift from passive observer to active participant in your health journey. The underlying principle can be distilled to a simple analogy. Your body functions as a complex chemical factory where food undergoes a series of intricate reactions, transformations, and combinations. In younger years, robust stomach acid, efficient enzymes, and a resilient system allow the body to effectively process less than ideal food pairings and manage the resulting byproducts. However, as individuals enter their 50s and 60s, there is a natural decline in stomach acid production, a deceleration of the digestive process, and an increased susceptibility of the kidney filtration system to overload. When inappropriate food combinations are introduced alongside boiled eggs, two detrimental outcomes can ensue. Firstly, the digestive tract struggles to adequately break down the composite meal, leading to prolonged residence in the stomach, fermentation, the production of gas and inflammation, and the generation of toxic metabolites. Secondly, the kidneys are compelled to undertake an elevated workload, filtering an increased volume of waste products day after day, which can gradually impair their function. The first particularly concerning dietary pairing that many find difficult to accept involves the consumption of boiled eggs with a fruit that is often perceived as wholesome and gentle, persimmons. The inherent danger in this combination is not due to any inherent toxicity of the persimmon itself, but rather to a specific compound it contains called tannin. Tannins are astringent substances known for their binding and tightening properties, and when they come into contact with the dense protein content of boiled eggs within the environment of a maturing digestive system, particularly when the stomach is less acidic or digestion is slower, a problematic reaction can occur. This interaction can lead to the formation of a dense, cohesive mass that the stomach finds difficult to break down effectively. In more extreme situations, this undigested mass can solidify over time, a condition medically termed a gastric bezoar, which manifests as a stone-like obstruction within the stomach. A poignant real-life account illustrates this danger. A 73-year-old woman living in a rural setting with abundant persimmon trees was committed to minimizing food waste. To maintain her strength, she began her day with 2 boiled eggs, followed by 2 ripe persimmons as a dessert, believing this would aid digestion and be gentle on her stomach. Over several weeks, she experienced escalating symptoms, including mild bloating, increased gas, and a persistent, heavy abdominal pressure that felt akin to carrying a brick. She rationalized these discomforts as simply a part of aging. However, one morning, she awoke in excruciating pain, accompanied by vomiting and profuse cold sweats, rendering her unable to stand. Upon examination, a dark, obstructive mass was discovered within her stomach, blocking its outlet. This was not the result of cancer or an obscure illness, but a hardened concretion formed from the protein in the eggs and the tannins from the persimmons. Due to its hardened nature, the mass could not be removed with conventional endoscopic tools, necessitating a major surgical procedure. Post-surgery, the patient expressed profound regret, lamenting, "Doctor, I only ate what came from my own yard. I thought I was being healthy." This sentiment underscores the insidious nature of these dietary hazards. The most perilous habits are often those embraced with unshakable confidence. The crucial takeaway is not to eliminate persimmons from your diet, but rather to strictly avoid consuming them immediately after eating boiled eggs. If you wish to enjoy persimmons, it is imperative to allow your digestive system adequate time to process the eggs. A minimum waiting period of 2 to 3 hours is recommended, as time acts as a transformative agent, neutralizing potential dangers. The principle to embrace is separation. By keeping these foods apart in time, you effectively eliminate the risk. It is worth considering whether during persimmon season, these 2 items are stored in close proximity in your kitchen. If so, they should be treated as incompatible entities that should not coexist at the same meal. Moving beyond seasonal fruits, the second combination presents a far more pervasive and daily challenge for millions, particularly those over 50, who consume it with the mistaken belief that they are actively supporting their physique and health. This daily ritual not only taxes the digestive system, but can insidiously lead to kidney overload. The second most detrimental combination to avoid is the pairing of boiled eggs with soy milk, especially unsweetened versions, or those marketed as high protein or derived from black soybeans. Many individuals perceive this as an optimal breakfast, envisioning a synergistic blend of animal protein from eggs and plant-based protein from soy, aimed at muscle building and bone health. However, the biological reality is less concerned with intentions and more focused on the physiological load. Kidneys do not differentiate between healthy choices in the abstract. They register the total protein intake and the subsequent waste products that require filtration. Post-50, the efficiency of kidney filtration diminishes compared to younger years. Dr. Rodriguez frequently encounters this pattern. Patients meticulously adhering to what appears to be a healthy dietary regimen on paper, yet inadvertently compromising their kidney function through excessive protein consumption. The metabolic pathway dictates that protein must first be broken down into amino acids, then its waste products, primarily nitrogenous compounds, must be filtered by the kidneys. Eggs alone are a concentrated source of complete animal protein. Soy milk, in turn, is also protein-rich, and plant-based proteins generate a distinct type of nitrogenous waste that also requires renal processing. Combining these 2 significant protein sources in a single meal, particularly at the start of the day, creates a protein flood that overwhelms the kidneys. While younger bodies may possess the capacity to manage this increased filtration demand, the aging kidney, characterized by reduced blood flow and slower filtration rates, requires periods of rest and recovery. The daily consumption of eggs alongside soy milk deprives the kidneys of these essential restorative intervals. A case in point is a 68-year-old gentleman who sought consultation due to persistent bloating, fatigue, and a general sense of frustration. Aiming to increase his strength, he religiously consumed 2 boiled eggs with a large glass of soy milk each morning. Despite his efforts, his weight remained unchanged, but other indicators shifted. His urine became foamy, his legs felt heavy, and he experienced profound exhaustion after breakfast. Medical tests revealed early signs of kidney strain and protein leakage into his urine. When the connection between his diet and his symptoms was explained, he expressed bewilderment, citing the common perception that soy protein is superior to meat. This highlights the critical distinction. The issue is not about good versus bad foods, but about the quantity, timing, and the body's capacity to process them. After the age of 50, kidneys are better equipped to handle protein from one source at a time, with adequate spacing between meals. Consuming eggs in the morning and soy milk later in the day, for instance, would be far more manageable. The daily combination, however, forces the kidneys to filter an excessive amount of waste, much of which may not even be properly absorbed, and instead ferments, generating gas and contributing to the overall waste burden, a situation often described as producing expensive urine. To acknowledge this understanding and commit to a change, pressing the like button serves as a personal pledge to reduce the overload on your kidneys. The third and final combination to avoid, while perhaps less insidious than the first two in its gradual buildup of damage, carries the potential for acute, excruciating pain, often described by patients as more severe than childbirth. This is a mistake that is frequently made without conscious thought. The third most detrimental pairing involves consuming boiled eggs with coffee or strong tea, particularly if ingested immediately after the meal. Both coffee and tea contain compounds known as oxalates, while egg yolks are a source of calcium. When oxalates and calcium unite within the digestive tract, they can precipitate, forming calcium oxalate crystals. These crystals are characteristically sharp and irregular, and they possess a propensity to migrate towards the kidneys. In younger individuals, these crystals are often efficiently expelled from the body. However, in older adults, particularly those who are not adequately hydrated or whose kidney filtration is already compromised, these crystals can accumulate, gradually forming kidney stones. A compelling illustration involves a 65-year-old woman who consistently drank a strong brew of green tea each morning immediately after eating boiled eggs for nearly a decade, believing it promoted blood purification. One night, she was awakened by a searing pain radiating through her side and back, accompanied by vomiting and cold sweats, leaving her unable to move. In the emergency room, imaging confirmed a kidney stone obstructing her ureter. Upon removal, the stone was found to be spiked and sharp, resembling broken glass, a clear indication of its calcium oxalate composition. In the aftermath, she tearfully questioned, "Doctor, I thought tea was healthy." The answer, as explained, is that while tea is indeed healthy, its timing in relation to egg consumption is critical. Waiting at least 1 hour after eating eggs before consuming coffee or tea can prevent months or even years of suffering. The encouraging news is that there is no need to eliminate eggs from your diet. They are not the enemy. In fact, eggs remain one of the most advantageous protein sources for individuals over 50, offering affordability, completeness of nutrients, and crucial muscle preservation. The danger has never resided in the egg itself, but rather in its dietary companions. By altering these pairings, eggs can transition from a potential source of harm to a potent ally in maintaining health. In subsequent discussions, the optimal foods to consume alongside eggs that actively support kidney health, cleanse blood vessels, and enhance digestion without the need for supplements will be explored. For the present, however, it is paramount to internalize these 3 cardinal rules. Never combine eggs with persimmons. Never pair eggs with soy milk. And never drink coffee or tea immediately after consuming eggs. If this information has been beneficial, please share it with your loved ones, as the most tragic cases of kidney damage often stem not from accidents, but from well-intentioned habits that are repeated without awareness. Prioritize the protection of your body. You deserve to age with vitality, not fear.